What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's a good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here, and first and foremost, Happy New Year's to you and your family. Hopefully it went well for everybody. I'm also recording this not too far off from midnight here in Vegas, and I'm not too far away from the Strip, so if you guys hear fireworks, hopefully it's not too distracting for you. But with that said, I think we have a general manager that Mike Vrabel would prefer at the top of the list here after doing some digging and seeing a tweet. And I can't recall who this came from, but the name Ryan Cowden was thrown out there. And when I dug it up, he does have a background with Mike Vrabel, a prior relationship during his Titans tenure, but also part of some of what the rumors were and kind of Mike Vrabel's initial request, if you will, during his tenure with the Titans after they lost general manager John Robinson was that, one, he wanted more ownership over personnel decisions. Two, he wanted to personally have Ryan Cowden get promoted to be the GM that he would work in tandem with. So it's worth taking a look at and diving into who this guy is, because if we are going to heavily pursue Mike Vrabel, it makes sense that we're going to hear Ryan Cowden's name come up for GM interviews here soon. So he's a 44-year-old executive advisor to Joe Schoen, general manager for the New York Giants at the moment. And as I mentioned before, there's some overlap. Not only has he spent a number of years with the Carolina Panthers, but of course, he knows Mike Vrabel from the Titans, where he was a director of player personnel, a vice president of player personnel, and, a bunch of other titles throughout there, right? Assistant director of college scouting, a national scout, senior college scout, and area scout, and then, of course, started off as his scouting assistant. But you take a look at some of the duties that he's had, and this just happens to be another one of those guys with a plethora of experience and plenty of task on hand, right, in the role of effectively what a general manager would be looking to do, where he oversaw the entire scouting department for the college ranks as well as the pro. He handled advanced scouting, which is basically, drafting up scouting reports for future opponents that we'll be facing, providing those to the coaching staff, preparing for free agency, and then he handled pro evaluation throughout the NFL ranks, of course, but also via other leagues. So think of Arena Football League, think the Canadian Football League, and maybe whatever other, little wacky things that may be out there, like the UFL, XFL, not sure what the current, titles for those particular leagues are, but well-rounded resume here, 25 plus years of experience. He was actually the interim GM when John Robinson got canned. And so this is partially why Mike Vrabel wanted to see him just fully take on the title. But of course, they went through interviews, conducted their research, and decided to go with Ron Carthen. I might have got that name slightly wrong, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Also kind of has former player background, right? As a quarterback turned safety. He was a huge four-sport athlete, there we go, during his tenure in college. And so pretty highly respected in that regard as a guy that can connect with pretty much any athlete that would touch the field. And you'd have to imagine that maybe he has an affinity for guys that have a dual sport background as well. Kind of let you know that they're creme of the creme, right? They're guys that you have your athletes, you have your top tier athletes, and then you have your Bo Jackson type guys, right? So I'm sure he would love to find those next variations of legends like that. Also, he's kind of been on the GM trail for a little while here. You've seen him have previous interviews with the Commanders, Giants, Steelers, and I couldn't find this confirmed anywhere, but it did look like he actually made it to the second round of interviews with the Steelers before they ultimately decided to go in a different direction as well. But he's a guy that's really cut his teeth through the scouting ranks, working his way up. And so you've seen him be involved in having players drafted like Cam Newton, linebacker Luke Kuechly, cornerback Josh Norman, DT Star Lotulelei, Kawan Short, linebacker Shaq Thompson, from Titan days, Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard, Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith, and AJ Brown. And so you respect the resume, love the years of experience, love all of the tasks that he's been able to do at a high level, I would say, because kind of feels like he's been able to move up, not in short order, but he's taken his promotions in stride, and he seems to really gain the trust of a lot of people that are around him. So I'm really intrigued by the name. I wonder if this would be something that would seal the deal for Mike Vrabel. Say you get him in for an interview first, then he finds out that Ryan Cowden is coming in for an interview as well, maybe makes him double back, and then we make sure he doesn't leave the building, right? So not necessarily an ace up the sleeve just for the Jets, because I'm sure all of the 31 teams are probably getting familiar with his background and who he may have ties to as well. But something to be aware of. If it happens to come out that you see Ryan Cowden, remember, this is going to be very important for potentially, tying up Mike Vrabel here for our next head coach. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. If you have more knowledge, more background details for this, make sure you drop them in the comments. Otherwise, tell me if you think this guy would be a plus or not. I'm not sure quite where I would rank him yet, even after digging in enough to know the background. But he's technically on par with your Ray Agnews, right? So outside of the fact that he hasn't necessarily seen championships, he has been able to be a part of multiple playoff teams, a Super Bowl contender with the playoffs. And so you kind of love what he's bringing to the table. So, again, let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you again. Peace.